metrics and how you can use it to grow your business. So this is actually a real location. They said that they are okay with us using their data for this video. We're obviously going to blur out their stuff, but so you can know this is all like actionable advice that can be taken. So this organization has been on the platform for about a week and a half roughly, and we're going to show you how you can use it to actually like improve your business. I'd probably wait like a month or two in terms of like taking something very actionable because you want the numbers to populate and like create trends. But a little bit of background about me and Tony is we actually had a consulting company. We've helped stores build sales anywhere from 7 to 10 grand a month just using this, which is just their numbers, missed opportunities, things like that, things that they're already doing. So you don't have to take like massive investments into like marketing, anything like that. It's just optimizing your business using numbers, real simple stuff. But in order to do that, you have to be able to measure your business. So we're going to start off with the overview. So their profit margin, if you look at that, is at 46.21%. If you're just a location that does walk-in repair, you need to be at 60% or higher. Anything lower than that, and you're vastly underperforming the general market, and anything higher than that is like great. It means you can justify that price. But anything lower than that, and you're really shooting yourself in the foot, and you're essentially going to be working for free. So 46.21, if you look at his actual overall sales, you see 69.37.30, and you see 26.30.94 for the week and a half. So 46.21, it's not amazing. It's also not terrible if you consider like the amount of like devices that you're selling. But if you're going to be at this profit margin, then that means that this needs to like sales, which sales is going to be accessories and devices, that needs to equal the amount of repairs if you're going to be around this area. So that means that I know you are most likely either not selling accessories to amp up this profit margin, or you're not um, charging enough for repairs. And we'll find out once we get to those categories. So we'll get into the just tickets. So new customers 43, returning 0. This means that you didn't import your customers, which is fine, not a big deal. But it'll help you kind of understand, who's repeat, who's not. The industry average on repeating customers is usually about 25 to 30%. So if you're below that, it means you're probably not doing a great job. If you're above that, it means you're doing a really good job. Um, Average ticket amount 217.46. That's really high. That's pretty good. Um, I'm assuming most of that's from like devices, so it can kind of skew it a little bit. So definitely before you do anything actionable with like average ticket amount and you use that as a good metric, you want more data. So like if 217.46 is just like forever exactly what it is, then like if it's below that, you can say, okay, why are we not charging enough? Or if it's above that, you can look at it and say, hmm, we're doing really well. Why? Things like that. So 33% of your overall tickets is going to be repairs, and then sales is 11. So that's okay. Um, this, if you're building up your sales, I'm usually going to want your sales to be at least 50 to 75% of your overall revenue. If you're looking to kind of hit that next like tier of revenue, you are going to see profit go down a little bit, but that's just the trade-off you're going to make because device sales don't have as high margin as repairs or services. Customer value, this one's actually super important. Customer value, please pay attention to this. So for a customer, for you right now, a customer is worth $225.52. So what that means is that if you sit there and you have like a marketing campaign and it costs you $100 is what it costs you to spend to get one customer, but that customer is going to make you 222.52 over the lifespan of that customer, which is the customer, how many times they came in, repairs, things like that. And you're at a 49% margin, $100 is too much to spend because you're automatically in the red. So you need to either adjust that campaign or you need to bring that cost down for the customers that are actually coming in. Now that is like a really, really high like cost of acquisition for a customer, for especially for this industry, but that's gonna be how you're gonna want to use that. We don't really have any like marketing people we work with to get people like better data on that. So just ask them how much it costs for like them to get a customer in. If they're good, they'll know what that number is. If they're not, they won't have that number. All right, sales. 20, 26, 30, 94. For sales to be as device heavy as you are, which is essentially like almost all of your sales, that's a really good margin. If you don't know what your margin should look like for devices, if you're a reseller, which means you're partnered with that manufacturer and you're getting the devices brand new in box from them, you're looking anywhere from like 5 to 15%, depending on like who you're working with, what tier of partnership you're at. And then if you are like buying and like flipping from like the groups, you kind of are around that margin as well. If you're looking to just like be the cheapest price in town, sell to the customer, so not a whole lot of upside. At that point, you want to like attach a bunch of things to it to make it like worth it. Um, if you're doing a leasing model, then like this is also good margin. And then if you're also like doing repair stock, it has a little bit more risk of warranties, but the margin's higher. So it's the trade-off you make. Accessory sales, this is not very good. Um, with the level of revenue that you're at, when it comes to like sales and repairs, I mean, you should be at least, because you want to go by percentages. You know, your attachment rate right now, this will be fixed Monday or Tuesday. That fix is like already live. We're just finally testing it. Um, but if you're at like a 30% attachment rate, which is you want to be there or higher, that's an average. I mean, just out of this, I mean, you're leaving probably $700-800 on the table if I had to guesstimate. It'll be a lot more accurate when this is out. But that's a good thing though too, because you now know that you can grow this, and if you do like a really good job, and or even just hit like the national average, I mean that's gonna be an extra $2,000 to $3,000 a month at like the rate that you're going, and over a year that's gonna be anywhere from like 24 to 36,000, and all you have to do is really just ask. Like you don't even need to be salesy about it. Just say, hey, do you need this? Right, and you'll hit 30%. Like you don't even need to be like crazy about it. Um, for context, if you're in like the wireless industry, your expected attachment rate is usually going to be anywhere from 60 to 80% is an expectation. So in this industry, you're usually going to see like 30-35% as like the average. If you're below that, massively underperforming. If you're above that, amazing. But it just depends. It's your business at the end of the day, so you make those decisions for yourself. And if you think that is a pain point that you can hit because accessories are one, cheap to buy, and then two, um, just easy to sell because you're just attaching it, right? It's really low risk, really high reward for you. But if you say, oh, I don't like to sell accessories and I don't want to bring that into my business, it's your business. You do what you want to do. Let's go into repairs. Look at repairs. All right, so just right off the bat, your warranty rate is at 6.9%. There are going to be three things that are going to contribute to this. The average you want to be at is probably 2 to 3% for warranty rates. So it's either you guys are opening or closing tickets when you don't need to, or your warranty rate is actually this high, which means that you could be getting like bad parts from like a supplier and like it's increasing your warranty rates. Maybe you need to change your supplier, or the work that your staff is doing could be improvements, or you guys are taking on really high risk repairs and maybe you need to either do less of those or I don't know, just kind of figure it out. But that's high. So that's something also easy that can be adjusted. So I would just try and figure out what's causing that. Um, Average repair time, that's bugged right now too. That both of these will be fixed Monday or Tuesday. But average repair time is going to track how long your ticket is in repair, and that's going to tell you like how long it's taking an employee to actually like fix something. So if there are things in there and they have a ticket and it's 2 hours, you're paying them $20 an hour. That's $40 in labor, but you're only charging $80 and your margin's 50%. You're breaking even and you're taking like risk. So it's like those kind of things aren't worth it. So that's why like average repair time is really worth it because are you just taking on like really high risk repairs that aren't making anything for you at the end of the day? Or do you have like one employee who's just dragging that time down? Maybe they need coaching, things like that. The other thing that really stands out to me on this page as well is going to be your tablet repairs. So with this amount of revenue, like this should be way higher. Like this should be probably more than computer and game repair, especially when it comes to like iPads and things like that. So I would say for you, definitely look into where you rank, like with your Google local rankings for tablet repair. Maybe add some keywords, things like that. But tablet repairs are really good because I mean, most of the time it's just going to be like digitizer repairs. It's 15 bucks. You make anywhere from like 130, 150, and you implement that change. You just improve your tablet stuff. Well, actually, let's see. Inventory, tablet parts. Okay, so you're not carrying a lot of tablet parts. That could be the contributing factor. Are you guys turning away a lot of like tablet repairs that are really easy, that are super high margin? Sit there, make the investment. Spend 80 to 100 bucks, get some of the most popular digitizers in stock, and then yeah, cool. You would have made an additional $400 or $500. And if you expand that over, a year at the rate of like your sales, I mean that's $20,000. Just that you're missing. So we've already identified, potentially about 50 grand a year that you're missing. That can be an employee, that can be 50 grand in your pocket with super little to no investment. Um, Other thing that really, really stands out when I'm just looking. Okay, let me get back to repairs and I'll go back to inventory. Other than that, I think all these other categories are fine. Like when you look at the product mix. All right, so this is a lot of inventory on hand. The way you want to look at your inventory on hand is your inventory if you're just walk in, right? And you're just maintaining that business. I mean, you want it to be at about 25, 35% maybe. Um, it can be up or down. It just depends. So if you're sitting there and you're doing 30,000 in like let's just say 30,000 in a repair as an example, you're not going to want more like repair related inventory than at most $10,000. That sounds like a lot, right? It is a lot. Like it would make no sense to like carry that amount. So it can be like way lower. Just depends. It depends on like how fast you can get parts. If from like the main supplier, do you get parts like next day, then you don't need to carry as much in stock. Or if it takes like a week for you to get parts, okay, then you need to carry a little bit more on hand. But if you can be a little bit more efficient with that, it'll also help you manage your cash flow a little bit better. The other thing that really sticks out is just the devices. I'm going to make an assumption that you're making a heavy move into like device inventory. You probably just made that recently because like this amount of inventory on hand compared to like the sales, that's a lot, right? So, another little helpful thing when it comes to like devices is devices are great and all, but you really need to have a good strategy around what to do with devices that don't sell because that's definitely a big case. It's because devices, anywhere from like usually $3 to $1,000 in stock. You have something that's $1,000 that has been sitting around for 6 months, and you sat there and you sold 5 devices that month at a 35% margin. What'd you say, 33? You sold 3,000 in devices, but you're at a 30% margin, but you're sitting on $1,000 phone. I mean, it's kind of like you didn't do anything, you know? So I would say if you're trying to not overcomplicate things, I would really look at your aging inventory because this is going to show you inventory that you've had in stock for over a certain amount of time. So like if you were at, let's say your system, you say, any device that's been here over 60 days, we need to liquidate either, try and get it out of here on clearance or liquidate it at cost or maybe at a little bit of loss so you can free up that cash flow to get things that are more in demand. Or if you want to do like 3 months, things like that. But that's going to be really, really helpful. You do the same thing with accessories because accessories, while they are high margin, sometimes you get stuck with a bunch of them. And then you just need to figure out what to do with that, whether it's liquidating on eBay, any of the groups, things like that. But yeah, I mean, so just from looking here, I mean, real simple things you can do to improve your business is literally just accessory sales, accessories, and then tablets. I'd say is like two really easy things you can do, like literally now, and you're probably going to increase your sales probably $50,000 in a year. And obviously, like little other improvements, device sales. If you're making this level of investment, you know, definitely have leasing and give the customer the option of, hey, paid off in 90 days, no interest. Just because it's for our demographic in this industry, it's very difficult for people to have just that level of cash up front. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, let us know. Any comments, let us know on the Discord, Facebook group, things like that. Thanks.